All right. Welcome back to MMB University. This is Mystery Music Beats, aka Kevin, and this is going to be another beat breakdown. As you can see, I have several elements. Um, my melodies are pretty much done. And then after that, after right now, I'm structuring several things. So I have the intro part, and then I have the chorus, and then this is going to be the verse, and this part most likely will be the bridge. So once again, we're just going over some basic things as far as structure, making sure that this is song ready. We need to make sure that the beat is song ready for the artist, whether that be including transitions, changing the pace, the energy of the track, etc. So let's get to the verse part. I want to experiment with one of the counter melodies that I have, and let's see what we can create. So I'm gonna take this and gonna use a different instrument or a different plugin just to see if I can create something cool with this. It's a simple piano, but I want to do something different with it. So right now I'm going to change the octave, and let's see if we can use like halftime on this. Okay, I kind of like that. Okay. Okay. So now let's move this over here. Okay, I think we got something right here. Okay, so now we got the intro set up. Okay, and by the way, this is these elements right here. These are samples from my collaborator, producer Low 9. He has fire starters samples, so definitely check out his page. I'm gonna see if I can link his information in this video, but he has provided me with so many different sounds, and just phenomenal. So just start from the beginning with this. Here's the main melody. Counter melody. And then we have so this is I think an 808 or a bass. So definitely some Travis Scott vibes, some Drake vibes, something serious. And here's the verse part. Let me change something up right here. I need something's like clipping on this. So by the way, I'm using Logic Pro. If you don't recognize, I'm gonna use a fade tool. Okay. Now we got that. So let's get to the fun part. Okay, this is the second counter melody. Oh, this is the counter melody for the verse. What I'll do is I'm gonna transform this, humanize this to make sure it doesn't sound too robotic. So the velocities have changed now that I'm doing this. All right. You know, let me do the same thing right here. Let's see. Okay, so that the last part, I changed up a little bit of it just to add some variation. But now let's get to the fun part, which is going to be the drums. So, start off with this section. I usually like to just start off adding my drums to the main melody. No other, no counter melodies involved. So, of course, we need to get the clap. Let's find a snare clap. Okay, Narcos. Shout out to Narcos. Shout out to Narcos. Okay. And then we're going to find a hi-hat. So I usually start off clap, hi-hat, snare. I need to find these. Those are the main drums I need to find. Okay, I like that one. There we go. Hit 2. Now let's find a snare. Paradise. Okay, there we go. I'm in paradise. Let's go. And then let's find some perks. I like that rim. Woo! The 808 rim. And then let's find an open hat. Yes. I like that easy one. Okay. Eggs over easy. Amen. All right. So now let's find a kick. I usually use this airy one right here. That's my reliable one right there. And then let's find an 808. I'm going to go to the Lunch 77 kit. He has a trusty Wheezy Spins 808. Perfect. So now, just going to lower the levels on here. Now let's start off with the clap. Hold on a second, let me see. There we go. And not feeling that clap. So let's find something in here actually. Okay. Now that's fire. There we go. Copy this over. As you can see, this is the full length of the chorus. I'm going to get the brush tool, Logic Pro brush tool. This is how I'm creating my hi-hat patterns. So let's change this to 1/8. 1/8 pattern. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have a vibe. This is gonna help with the bounce when I include the 808, etc. I like how this is sounding right now. Sometimes I like to mix it up as far as my hi-hat patterns. I don't like to just do a 1/8 all the time, but I will be creating a section separate from this where the 1/8 is present throughout the whole section of the song. So okay, so bounce. That's the thing I'm working with here. And as you can see, the velocity levels on here, just helping to create a good rhythm uh, within the beat itself. But once again, shout out to Low 9 for the fire sample. Like, damn, like this is what it's all about, man. Just having fun, making beats, making music, and hopefully finding an artist or a company, ideally a sync company. Shout out any sync supervisors watching, please. Um, I'm willing to work, so willing to work with you. So, all right, now we have this established. We have hi-hat patterns. Now we're gonna add the snare. So we got the clap and the hi-hats. Now let's add a nice snare. Hey. Okay, there we go. So you can see I had the hi-hats, I mean the snares, and I added a 1/16 snare pattern. So now we're developing that groove. Let's see what we can do with the perk now. Hey, okay. There we go. So now we got the perk. It's flowing. It's flowing. There we go. Let's do the open hat pattern. All right, so now this, what I'm gonna do for another section, I'm gonna make the open hats more consistent. There we go. So that might be used for the bridge. All right, so yeah, I'm building out, I'm creating multiple elements of the song while I have the instruments ready and available. So now let's get to 808. Okay. Okay, now we got that pattern. Now the second part of the 808, I might add a little variation. So let's chop this up right here. There we go. Okay. Okay, now we got that. Now I'm gonna put the kick on a bus 1, 808 on a compressor. And we're going to have this on here. So I'm gonna copy and paste this over. With the kicks, I'm moving everything onto one line, as opposed to 808. The bounces or the drums vary. So I'm gonna remove some elements. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we got the drums. Now we have the drums. Now this is a lot easier. Usually the hardest part is getting the melody together and structuring everything, but we got a good groove right now. So let me just say this right. Okay. Save this again. So this is ICEMAN Part 11. Inspired by the new Drake album coming out May 15th. I don't know when I'm going to drop this video, but currently it is May 9th. So we have some time before it releases. Looking forward to it. So now let's get into... copy and paste this all over here. Okay, there we go. So now this is the chorus, verse, and then we're gonna lead into the bridge. What should be on the bridge? Let's see. I'm gonna move this over here. So as you can see with the chorus, with the verse, I'm stripping away the elements, the drum elements. So there's no snare, there's no perk, there's no open hat, and there's no kick in the first part of the verse. But in the second part, I'm bringing back the snare at the second part, or the tail end of the verse. And then earlier I had the open hats. So these are, as you can see with this open hat pattern, it's only 4 hats hitting. This has 8 hats hitting. So this is creating more momentum, more energy. And then after that, I am removing all drums for the bridge. So So I'm going to introduce these later on, the second part of the song. Or I might just remove some. Sometimes I create too many melodies. So now that I have this pretty much the section of the song ready, let's see. I'm going to get my let's see, my beat tag. Make sure you have a beat tag if you're a producer. That way people can recognize who you are, the work that you do, and also have the metadata with your music. I'm just gonna adjust my beat tag. Okay. And make sure it's not too loud. Make sure it doesn't take away from the song itself. What I'm also gonna do, let's see, we're gonna find some effects. My MMV drum kit, okay. Okay, I got my riser. All right. There we go. And then now we need a cymbal. There we go, smoke hit. There we go. All right. So now we got that going. And I'm just going to copy and paste this over just to make it simple when I'm making this. We're going to copy and paste. You know what? I'm going to add a hi-hat pattern right here for the transition. Okay, there we go. So now I got the riser and I have the snare pattern that I can use and change within the beat. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to copy and paste this over. Oh, hold on. That's going to be the intro. The riser is going to come in. At the end of the first chorus and the second one. I don't like to use the same riser effects all the time. I like to have different sounds or different parts of the song that are unique. Okay, there we go. So now, copy and paste, baby. There we go. So the transition, take the riser. Okay, so now we got that. And by the way, the first bridge, all drums are removed. The second bridge, I'm introducing several drums. So I'm gonna have my kick. Usually have my kick introducing this part, and then I'll have let's have these elements: the perk and the open hat. So this part right here, we're going to erase everything here, and I'm just going to make it a simple, simple hi-hat pattern throughout the whole thing. Okay, there we go. So now, and what I'm going to do is half speed on the hi-hat pattern. There we go. Okay, we are almost done making the beat. This is actually pretty easy. A lot less complicated than a lot of other beats I've created. So we got that going. So that's the bridge. I mean, that's the second bridge. The previous melodies that I didn't use prior, I was like, these are the ones that I'm using right now. So if I can't find a section for it to be useful in the beat, I'll probably just use it in the second chorus or second bridge. And let's see what else. Now it's just copy and paste the chorus again. And I'm gonna move this over. Gonna remove some elements of it. Probably just remove, gonna remove the kick. So that the outro, I'm just keeping things, I'm stripping away some elements of it. Okay, so now what we have to do is mixing some of the elements of the melodies. Okay, just making sure that some of the high end and low ends are balanced out. don't want the low end to clash with the 808. Okay, almost there. Almost there. Okay, now we got everything mixed. I got the transitions ready. Yeah, I have a lot of transitions actually right here. So I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna add a transition here. I don't want to use another riser. Okay, good mix there. What I'll do is I'll add let's see. So that second the second part of the beat, I'm just adding some variations compared to the first part. As you can see, the section is a little bit different. Just changing some elements of it. That's it. Just changing the energy of it. Even right here, let's see what we can do. So it has like just a good bounce. So when the artist is on it, it's like, okay, I can flow on this. I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Yeah, shortening the 808 and kick certain sections to make the transitions have even more of an effect. So now what we're gonna do, we are almost done. Now it's just mixing, leveling and mixing right now. Go right here. So what I'm doing is lowering all the levels. I'm gonna start off with my kick. The kick and 808 are the first drums that I mix. That's gonna set the tone as far as where everything else should be leveled. As you can see, I'm keeping it around 6. 808 a little bit lower. Now the main melody. Let's go over here. Let's find the other part. Okay, so now we're gonna mix the drums. Hi-hats. Snare. I'm gonna lower this down. Okay, so we got the drums, the main drums done. Let's get the other elements. The cymbal crash. Okay. Now let's do the second part. This is the verse. Okay, so we have a full beat. Let's start off listening to the beginning and part of the song. So the chorus, beginning, intro, chorus, and verse. Okay, once again, this is MMB University. This is Mr. Music Beats, aka Kevin. Here is a song. This is a beat, ICEMAN PT.11. It's part of an ICEMAN inspired beat pack inspired by Drake's new album, ICEMAN. As you can see, as if you've been watching, you have the transitions. You have a lot of sections. I mixed the track. I have different breakdowns, etc. for an artist. The goal is to make your beats artist ready. So melodies right here. Then you have the drums right here. Then you have some effects. And then, of course, the beat tag. So thank you for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, any suggestions, let me know. Here to help. And here to help any beginning producers. I know I had a lot of help trying to find different resources, etc. I might do a video on different plugins, very accessible plugins, etc. But Logic Pro, if you do have Logic Pro, they have a lot of great and free resources that you can use. I highly recommend mastering the free resources that you have and then expanding from there. But thank you once again. MMB University, baby. Coming back with more, okay? Take care.